And next up is Leslie Mah, former country currently learning fine arts. Leslie.
I'm surprised I made it. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a writer, so thanks for asking me. Okay. Despite my pleading, my girlfriend at the time preferred drinking and fighting to coming out, claiming the Colorado punk scene was no place to be gay, which was true, but I wanted to challenge that. We were harassed all the time anyway, called diesel dykes, which is preferable to standard sexual harassment. When dudes shouted faggots outside the windows they drove by, we would correct them by yelling, "No, we're dykes." You can bet after our breakup, I fled Boulder for the rainbow shores of the San Francisco Bay. It wasn't long before ACT UP revealed a backdoor entry perfect for punk rock. Do-it-yourself is the very foundation of punk. As a triple threat minority, this proved to be time-saving and life-saving trajectory for me. My band would network in real life with a few other scruffy queerdos, erecting queercore on the shoulders of feminist punk, homocore, and queer nation. I still can feel those moments of transcendence. When I felt surrounded by the most incredible people, it felt like we could truly change the world. My mid-90s was spent on the shelf, in a van, on the road, putting in miles and kilometers throughout what was described as the Western world, the first underground punk world. Our youthful idealism fortified a brave new world. We gleefully included safe sex and self-defense demos at all our events. The whole band would be exhausted, passing viral and then bacterial infections around in the van. There's nothing glamorous about being a band on tour at all. It's exhausting, and we ended up being total emotional puddles of protoplasm, held together with the promise that we were doing something very important. Everything sucked. But then we would take to the stage and each of us conjured magic. I would act as if the revolution had already happened and we were just here to commemorate all the brave queers and girl warriors. Careening through seasonal touring, which became an annual road warrior campaigns, the band developed highly tuned bodily function management skills. Public restrooms at gas stations, dive bars, squats, and other just on the side of the road, on the highway, became the site of lost privacy and a default game of political activism. Despite being the lone, obviously gendered band member, we traveled as a nebulous entity of intimately connected parts. Often scouting the safety of a bathroom site was my duty. Truth was, I don't have an exclusive feminine presence, but I chose to embody the most femme part of myself because I felt it was my most direct revolutionary route to confront sexism. I loved the bewildering reaction of faces that I saw out from the stage to the spectacle of physically aggressive headbanging femme performance. This coincided with the blossoming trans community, which became an incredible opportunity for growth for me. I got to learn and unlearn things about gender that my original coming out paradigm was based on. Today I'm navigating a whole different world, but I'm amused when my old queer core skills come into play. Even with good insurance, a do-it-yourself approach is vital when you're lost in the free fall, which is an advanced cancer diagnosis. I have been opening the gifts from all the generations of queers who have lit my ass on fire, challenging me over the decades. The day I received my first diagnosis, I gathered my people, sharing my life-altering news, outing myself as a cancer patient, delivering realness throughout the whole process. It was still a performance. Honoring the spirit of those with AIDS who refuse to be burdened with the shame of sickness. The second diagnosis was horrible. 6 months after my initial chemo, external beam radiation, internal surgical radiation, the cancer was detected again. Out of two shitty options, one being do nothing and die, the other gave me a chance of a cure, 25%. One being, it was a major radical surgery to remove all of my pelvic organs. This included uterus, ovaries, fallopian tubes, bladder, rectum, vagina, yada, yada, yada. The surgery would be in two parts. The first part, removing everything, and the second part, reconstructing the vagina and making baggies fashioned out of intestines to collect waste. My first question was, well, am I going to be able to ride a bike? I had been an AIDS life cycle rider in the years leading up to this shitstorm. My surgeon was confused and he said, oh, yes. So I agreed to do the procedure. But then I was informed that about half the patients who receive a pelvic exenteration surgery just die from the surgery, and only half of the remaining are even cured of cancer. Well, you go for it anyway. Everybody has complications. I inquired about the vaginal reconstruction. It required a muscle taken out of my leg or my stomach and folded over, make a tube, and this would take an additional 6 to 7 hours tacked on to my surgery time. I asked, well, is it necessary? And they stared at me blankly. Well, can I just not do that part? And they said, very perplexed, because they were not understanding, well, yeah, definitely. It increases your chances of survival. And I couldn't understand why this normal procedure in a high morbidity surgery was just adding risk. And I asked, well, it increases my chances of surviving then, right? If I don't get the fake vagina. And the answer was, oh yeah, definitely. Well, damn, why is fake vagina standard? It didn't take long to figure out why. There are lots of women who don't have vaginas, I stated. A couple of beats passed. And then my nurse practitioner, she validated me and she repeated, yeah, lots of women don't have vaginas. I'm so grateful in a world where destiny is not defined by anatomy, and destiny is not biology. And thanks to all the feminists and all the trans activists for their labor for this surprise gift. My surgery went well, taking 7 hours instead of 13. And for the fake vagina. The final pathology dealt the most devastating blow. The disease had already spread. Recurrent metastatic cervical cancer is not curable. The only option at that point was maintenance chemo, which slows the disease growth. My triple chemo cocktail usually gets a patient only a few extra months. But after living in this medical gray area for 3 fucking years, and 31 chemo infusions, I've massively outlived my life expectancy. My oncologist has never had someone with my diagnosis survive. He called me a miracle. I am not religious, but I view art and music as evidence of something spiritual, connecting us to all the mysteries of which we emerge and will return. I am not going anywhere anytime soon. I am in remission. I am living as if the revolution has already happened, and I am still here to honor you brave queers and warrior women.